Greetings pimps. I saw a hilarious anarchist FAQ that was almost 3,000 pages long. We will be destroying it in mere minutes.
Who's your favorite Avenger?
Iron Man.
Iron Man, huh? You look like Robert Downey Syndrome.
First off, it must be stated that off rip you can tell it will be nonsense, as it does the typical crying over capitalism while simping for ideologies equally as awful. As per usual, we won't be defending capitalism here, but we will laugh at NPCs who cry about it while holding trash ideologies too.
Don't you feel silly? Don't you feel stupid? Don't you feel a little ashamed?
Our anarchy void of authority and hierarchy, well as these bozos claim anyway. But wait, it gets funnier. They openly simp for authority and hierarchy. In the FAQ, they try really hard to be against it and capitalism, but then end up necessitating it with their beliefs.
Hey y'all! It's Big Fat Reverend Bird here again!
Oh, they have a cope method, though they call it horizontal authority, which is just their way of defending the authority of the majority over the minority. Not only this, but they claim they have justified enforcing their morals onto others, which is an appeal to authority, not logic.
Yo, I don't like white people either. Let's get an interview going. What's good, homie? Yo, you're a gangster, right? Yo, you're a gangbanger, right? Yo, that's right. That's right, bro.
Oh, you don't get to claim private property is immoral, then enforce your no private property rule onto others, just as I don't get to claim spinning in a circle is immoral, so I get to force the no spinning rule onto you.
Who you remember when your mom tackled me on the front porch coming into the house butt naked? You remember that? Good, you're making me fucking sick. You remember when your mom ran out the front door and tackled me freaking butt naked and drugged me in the house? You remember that?
But private property is exploitation, and that's immoral, just like murder. It's self-defense to act against it by taking the property. No, self-defense against private property would be not taking up the offer of work, thus leaving them workerless, not taking the property from them. If they have no workers being exploited, then it is not exploitation, thus not immoral.
They were putting the fucking drug dealers out of fucking business! Non-narcotic, non-addictive, bring back the fucking Quaaludes!
In order for the act of private property to be immoral, if you consider exploitation immoral, there must be a worker being exploited. There is no exploitation present if all that exists is a workerless capitalist. Even the FAQ agrees with this, as it admits property is personal property if it's not being used to exploit workers.
I'ma have to dig you down on some gangster shit.
In a state of World 1, need not worry about capitalists, as there would be many worker communes to join instead. The problem here arises with the objective morality of exploitation in the first place. Now we can either agree that it's an appeal to authority to claim it's immoral, thus instantly making claims it's bad, irrelevant, or we can look at it through the lens of an objective moral equation. Let's look at murder first. Murder is of course objectively immoral, as any anarchist would agree, lest they defend the state and slavery. How does one make murder, so to speak, null? Self-defense is an answer, but in regards to exploitation cannot ever be self-defense, so we can ignore that. Now the only other way is if the person killed willingly chose to be killed. This, however, turns the action into an action which is not murder. Murder necessitates an involuntary action. This is—
Let me get this straight. You are racist, you're so political, you're homophobic, and you're on this?
Yes.
Just to tell everyone about it?
Yes.
Do you know how much people commit suicide because of you?
Good.
That's why murder is immoral. Now take exploitation. If a worker voluntarily decided to work for a boss, is this still exploitation? No, as just with murder, the act is no longer exploitation if the participant is participating voluntarily, as any voluntary action is never immoral.
Woman power! Activate female power! Gush! Pussy!
But what if we claim yes, it is always exploitation for private property to be used to employ workers? Then it is a null action, as for an action to be immoral, a voluntary counterpart must exist. Rape involuntary form is just sex, so to speak. Murder involuntary form is just assisted suicide, so to speak. Theft involuntary form is just sharing, so to speak. Exploitation involuntary form is what?
Get off of there. Get off of there.
Let me finish this. Get out of my room.
I'm gonna unplug this damn thing.
Get out of my room.
Here. You get out now. How much longer?
Get out of my room.
It's two. You better have a daggone minute left.
Get out.
I will unplug that damn thing and throw it out.
Somebody call the cops on her.
That thing's going off forever.
There is in this case no voluntary form, as we are considering it immoral even when the worker says I am here voluntarily of my own will and not forced here in any manner. I could join a commune instead if I so choose. So the choice of the FAQ anarchist is either sure working for a boss can be voluntary if there's worker commune options and living on your own options that could easily be chosen instead, or the second choice of whether or not a choice of an individual is considered voluntary is left up to others, not the individual.
What accounts for as little as 13%, but also half?
Jews?
The answer is, who is the nigger?
So either so-called exploitation, thus private property ownership, can indeed be a null action, or you claim you have authority over what an individual may choose to do voluntarily, which is an appeal to authority. Pick one. Of course you need not actually select an answer, as claiming private property is immoral holds as much power as saying being gay is.
Yeah, why y'all put cheese on my cheeseburger?
I'm sorry, what?
Shut your bitch ass. Someone come in there and shoot your...
And at the end of the day, the real answer in all this mess is simply voluntarism. We need not even acknowledge the previous flawless logical arguments, as the following annihilates the anarchy FAQ as well as Ancom's capitalists and caps libertarian socialists, communists, and whatever other term you want to use. Let's pretend all states are gone. If people create a voluntary to join commune, and let's say 100 miles away people decide to create a voluntary to join town in similar fashion which allows private property, these two need not quarrel. 2. Suggest one of these two must be stopped by force is to be statist and thus in favor of slavery. The commune can disallow private property and the town can allow it. There is no need to complain, cry, or virtue signal, as both will disallow the opposite from entering. The commune will of course not allow in capitalists, and the town could ban socialists, although not necessarily.
Calling someone a bozo is like that's a super aggressive.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if someone called you a bozo?
Yeah, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
the N-word for people like us.
Yeah.
You're free to do as you desire, and me personally, I would never join any of these cringe groups, as they are both dumb as hell and require authority to enforce their beliefs. Meanwhile, I do not.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
But I digress. As we have reached the end of this video, I hope you all enjoyed. Pimps, we out.
So here we go. I'm about to make myself retarded.